On the lookout for sites that accept guest posts, what metrics should one keep in mind to elevate such sites that allow guest posts and offer a backlink?
Evaluate. Yeah, that's pretty
Oh,
simple.
evaluate. I can't read apparently.
Happens. Yeah, so in relation to talking about metrics, I'm not huge on sticking to metrics. Can you pull the question back up real quick?
Yeah, here you go.
Just because that's sort of like topsy-turvy. I guess DR, if you want to talk about metrics that I guess are pretty standard that you can rely on decently, I'd say DR is probably one that's up there. But well, and also if we're talking about guest posts, so you're probably not going to get access to the site beforehand. So I would say for guest posts, DR, especially more than DA or something that's more easily manipulated. Majestic Trust Flow Citation Flow can be good sometimes, but also more easily manipulated. DR seems to be the most trustworthy one. I still don't like to rely just on metrics. In this case, you'd have to trust that your vendor knows what they're doing, but a good standard I would say is DR, personally.
Yeah, so let's say you are just doing them yourself. I'm just using, if you come to our guest post page and you scroll down, we've got this little slider or whatever this is called above our pricing tables. This goes over some of the metrics that we require the sites to have. So TF and CF a bare minimum of 5, 100 or more referring domains. And we check the site appearance. We check to make sure, it wasn't used as a PBN or it's not currently a PBN. Check to make sure it's indexed. We don't like to see any kind of sponsored posts or write for us kind of stuff, anything like that on the site. And then, like our higher level ones, for example, we're also checking. Well, actually, if they fail any of these, even if they fail just one, they slide down to our kind of our second tier. But, so some more things we check for, just traffic history, the history of the domain, SSL, of course, the backlink profiles, and like how good the backlink profile is going to be, or that you want it to be, is going to be up to you. But in general, just take a look at the site and does it look healthy? If you pop it into Ahrefs and you look at, just the keywords and traffic graph, you don't want it to be taking like a hard dive or something. But yeah, when you look in the backlink profile, you don't want to see too much spam. Every site is going to accumulate some spam. As an example, one of our sites is being spammed right now. It's just, it's something that happens. And Google's pretty good at telling what spam is and to disregard it at this point in time. But you just want to make sure their entire backlink profile isn't horrible. You want to see a bunch of like relevant stuff in there. Obviously, you don't want to see a ton of PBNs or something. Yeah, just look for a kind of natural backlink profile, of course, would be better than not natural. Yeah, so if you ever need kind of a guideline for our guest posts, you can look here. But just to simplify it a bit, like Nick said, DR, or if you're in Ahrefs, I pretty much stick with Ahrefs, but
Yeah, I was also kind of considering this just from the perspective of, when I see guest posts, I'm thinking of somebody buying the links. And it honestly sounds like this guy might be talking about even doing manual outreach.
yeah, he's talking about, I think, going after them himself.
Sure. So if you're doing that, then personally, I don't worry myself too much with DR. Now, if you're going to do maybe a blanket bulk metrics run in Ahrefs with 100 sites that you checked out, and then you want to deduce it even further by doing that, then maybe by DR or RD. But then ultimately, you're going to want to go into the backlinks for that particular domain and just make sure that it's a legitimate business. Does this make sense? Do the anchors look natural for this particular website? If yes is the answer, even to a good degree, then it's a viable option for a guest post. They don't have to be completely clean, but the cleaner they are, the better a link it's going to be for you.
Yeah. Just to kind of summarize what I would go by if I was, doing the outreach myself, not buying from a vendor. Um, the first thing I probably look at even before DR is probably the RD, referring domains of the domain. Then I'd look at the DR. Then I would look at the traffic, and I'm not as crazy about traffic as some people are. What I mainly want to see is that the traffic for the amount of referring domains that the domain has, or the DR that the domain has, makes sense, right? So if the domain doesn't have a lot of referring domains, the traffic probably won't be that high. But if they've got a ton of links and their DR is pretty high and their traffic is super low, then something's kind of wrong there, right? So I would be, at the minimum, that would put my evaluation of how much I would want to pay that domain for a link. That would lower my price for them in my mind. But yeah, so referring domains, DR, or the authority for whatever you're looking at. Traffic, make sure it makes sense. Of course, more traffic is good. Means they're actually ranking for stuff. And then, backlink profile. You want the backlinks to be, kind of relevant for whatever it is the site's about. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the description below for links to our blog for more info on this topic, along with a bunch of other cool stuff like case studies, our Facebook community, and our link building services. And like always, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell if you enjoyed the video. Thanks and happy ranking.